Good morning, students. How are you? Hopefully all of you are doing great. So how's the previous video lecture? I think everybody should be able to understand the entire concept of the physics. Myself Jagdeep Dudi, I am welcome all of you in these physics classes. On behalf of my YouTube channel Study Zone by JD Sir. If you are new in my YouTube channel, then please subscribe the YouTube channel. In previous classes we have discussed about the fundamental units, derived units and the supplementary units. The fundamental units in terms of the SI unit system we are considering there are the 7 fundamental units in terms of the mass, length, time, current, intensity of light, substance of any molecule and temperature. Is it clear? The candela, it is to be the unit of the intensity of light. Mole, it is to be the unit of the substance of any material. Degree Kelvin, it is to be the unit of the temperature. And the ampere, it is to be the unit of the electric current. After that we will discuss about the some derived units. In today's class we are started from, it is to be our physics class for class 11th. Our chapter number 2 is to be going on and the title is Unit and Dimension. Unit and Dimension. In last class we have discussed about the fundamental units. There are the 7 fundamental units. First one is in terms of the represented by meter, length. Second one is to be the kilogram. Third one is to be the second. Fourth one, it is to be in terms of the degree Kelvin. Fifth one, it is to be in terms of the candela. Sixth one in terms of the mole, and the seventh one in terms of the ampere. These are the 7 fundamental units with respect to m for the length, kilogram for the mass, second for the time, degree Kelvin for the temperature, candela for the intensity of light, mole for the amount of substance, and the ampere, it is to be for the electric current. After that we will discuss about the derived unit. As per the basic definitions, the derived, it means it is to be derived with the help of the fundamentals. It means here we are just to be considering the few examples to understand this entire formulation in terms of the, I am just to be considering the few examples. First example, it is to be in terms of the speed or the velocity. Speed or the velocity. Second, I am just to be considering in terms of the acceleration. And the third one, I am just to be considering in terms of the force. Speed and velocity, चाल या वेग, acceleration turn, force, बल. Now first we will talk about the speed and the velocity. As we know that the formulations of the speed and velocity, it is to be defined in terms of the distance or the displacement upon time. It means here the distance or the displacement, it is to be represented into the meter and the time in terms of the seconds. That's why meter per second, it is to be the unit of that velocity or the speed. It means here we are measuring the speed or the velocity of any object in terms of the meter per second, and it is to be derived with the help of the meter. It is to be our fundamental unit, and second, it is also to be the fundamental unit. It means it is to be the ratio of these 2 fundamental units, and that's why it is to be known as the derived unit, because it is to be derived with the help of the these 2 basic fundamental units. Is it clear? Okay. Next we will talk about the accelerations. Again, as per the basic formula, acceleration equal to velocity upon time. It means it is again to be defined in terms of the velocity upon time, and as we know that the velocity or the speed, it is to be defined in terms of the distance upon time. इट मीन्स यहाँ पे फॉर्मुलेशंस क्या बन गए आपके पास, डिस्टेंस अपॉन टाइम, दूरी या विस्थापन बटे समय, उसके फिर बटे में समय. देन द फॉर्मुलेशंस इट इज़ टू बी राइट डाउन इन टर्म्स ऑफ द, लाइक मेरे पास कुछ फॉर्मुलेशंस ऐसी होगी, ध्यान रखना, डोंट बी कंफ्यूज्ड इन दीज फॉर्मुलेशंस. ये इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप कौन सी क्वांटिटी को एग्जैक्टली किससे डिवाइड कर रहे हो. हियर ए अपॉन बी अपॉन सी अपॉन डी, इट मीन्स इट इज़ टू बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ द ए अपॉन बी मल्टीप्लाई डी अपॉन सी. जब ऐसी फॉर्मुलेशंस होती है तो जो आपके पास अपॉन में जो राशि लिखी हुई होती है, अपॉन में जो क्वांटिटी होती है, इट इज़ टू बी द रेसिप्रोकल. इट मीन्स उसको अपन उल्टा करके लिखते हैं. तो यहाँ पे फॉर्मुलेशंस कुछ ऐसी बनेगी, बट हियर द फॉर्मुलेशंस आर टू बी लाइक दिस, a upon b upon c. It means in place of d you are just to be put it down 1 and we are getting out a upon b into 1 upon c. Okay, that's why final concluded formulation is to be distance upon time square. Now the measurement of the distance, it is always to be in terms of the meter per time, it means second square. It means the derived unit for the acceleration, it is to be in terms of the meter per second square. Is it clear? It is to be the second type of the formulations. For better understanding, we are considering the third example in terms of the force. Now the force, बल आपके पास क्या होता है, बल और the force, it is to be in terms of the F equal to m into a. Here it is again multiplications of the m means mass of any object, a it is to be the accelerations. Here a is to be the acceleration of that particular object. It means force is applicable when a object it is to be moving with a particular accelerations. Now for that particular formulations, m represented in terms of the kilogram and the acceleration it is to be in terms of the meter per second square. Now it is to be the formulations kilogram kg meter per second square and it is to be equated by the Newton. Kg meter per second square is to be equated by Newton. When we are discussing about the force in further chapters in details, at that particular moment we are just to be considering the unit of the force, it is to be in terms of the Newton. Clear? There are lots of the other formulations are to be also to be defined in terms of the, I am also taking out the another examples in terms of the charge and the resistance. I am considering the few other examples to better understand the entire formulations, and these formulations are to be in terms of the next example number 4, it is to be in terms of the charge. Charge it means अपन आवेश की बात कर रहे हैं. Here the formulations we are having a basic formula in terms of the I equal to Q upon T, the current equal to charge per unit time. It is to be the current, it is to be the charge and it is to be the time. Now the formulations of the Q, it is to be in terms of the I into T, it means the charge equal to current into time. Charge is to be the multiplications of the current and time. Here the current it is to be represented into ampere and the time it is to be represented into the seconds. That's why the unit of the charge it is to be ampere into seconds. The unit of the charge it is to be ampere into second and it is equated by the coulomb. It is equated by the coulomb. Clear? It means these are to be each and everything is every term is to be understanding when we are discussed about the further formulations of the physics. Here we are just to be considering the few initial formulations. That's why I am just to be taking out the few examples to understanding the entire formulations. Clear? It means it is to be derived. That's why it is to be derived with the help of the other two fundamentals. Current, electric current, it is also to be the fundamental unit. Time, it is also to be the fundamental unit. Next, we will consider in terms of the resistance. You are already to be familiar about the Ohm's law. In 10th class you are studied about the basic formulations of the Ohm's law and the relation between the potential or the current V directly proportional I. with that particular formulations we are getting out the V equal to I into R. It means the potential equal to current into resistance. With the help of these formulations we are just to be deriving R equal to V upon I. Clear? Now the potential V, it is to be in terms of the volt, and the potential it is also to be defined in terms of the work done upon area, or it is to be in terms of the I. Again the work done is to be defined into force into displacement upon area divided by current. Now the force we are just to be writing down a few minutes ago we are stated about the force in terms of the kg meter per second square into displacement in terms of the meter upon area in terms of the meter square. It is to be divided by the current in terms of the ampere. Clear? It means we are just to be getting out the entire formulations, and it is to be in terms of the kg per second square into ampere. Now this formulation is to be equated by the ohm. This formulation is to be equated by the ohm. Is it clear? It is to be the basic formulations of the derived unit. Next we will talk about the supplementary units. How to discuss about the supplementary units. There are the two basic formulations of the supplementary units, and they are also to be understood in the formulations. How to study about the radian and the steradian, measurement of the angle and the solid angles. Here we are just to be considering supplementary unit, and these supplementary units, there are the two units in terms of the solid angle or linear angle or the angle. First we will discuss about the basics of the angle. When we are going to measure the angle, it means it is to be a basic formulations in terms of the arc upon radius. First I am just to be discussing about the basic definition of the angles, how to define the angle. In 10th class you are already to be studied about the angles and the basic formulations of the angle. The definition of the angles are to be defined as per the point formulation, as per the line formulation, and as per the intersection of the two lines. Here I am just to be considering the basic formulation, how to define the angle. Now it is to be the measurement, it is to be the measurement of an position with respect to its initial position, its initial position. Clear? Like I am just to be considering whether you are considering it is to be a point and it is to be the another point. Now it is the initial positions. Now if this point is to be moving and we are getting out the formulation like this, then it is to be the angle. It means it is to be the measurement of an position with respect to its initial positions. Initially it is to be the positions, this is the initial position, and this is to be the final position. It means the angular measurement between the initial and the final positions. When I am talking about the intersection of the two lines, then suppose these are the two lines, they are just to be intersecting. It means the intersection point, at that particular intersection point both the lines are to be forming an angle. It is to be the angle theta. Similarly it is also to be angle, it is also to be angle, it is also to be angle. In 10th class mathematics you are also to be studied about the different kind of the formulations of the angles, but here we are just to be considering the basic definitions of the angle. In physics it is not to be important the further formulations, we are just to be considering the formulations of the angle theta. It is to be defined in terms of the arc upon radius, arc upon radius. Here the arc, it is to be the formulation, this part is to be considered as the arc part and it is to be considered as the radius formulations. Clear? It is also to be considered as the radius formulations. Now it is to be the measurement of the theta equal to arc upon radius. Now but the important thing, it is this measurement is always in radian. It is not to be the degree measurement. Be careful about it. It is not the degree measurement. The common mistake, we are just to be using this formulation arc upon radius and we are getting out the result, and after that we are just to be forgetting to convert this results into the degree formulations. We are directly to be put it down in terms of the answer, but be careful about it. This measurement is always to be related to the radian measurement. ये हमेशा radian में होगा, degree में नहीं होगा. That's why it is to be important. Okay, take a screenshot. Clear? Next we will move upon the solid angle measurement, and the solid angle measurement I am just to be considering because it is not to be important for any applications into the physics. It is to be just in terms of the definition, and it is to be defined in terms of the d del or d ohm. It is to be in terms of the dA upon r, dA upon r square. Clear? Here dA upon r square, it means area के respect में calculate होता है. I am just to be explaining it into a simple formulations. Like you are just to be ordered a pizza. आपने घर पे एक pizza order किया. If you are having the 5 members at your home, there are the 5 members. Then you are just to be slicing 5 pieces of that particular pizza. आपने उस pizza का क्या किया? 5 pieces कर लिए. Then the formulations are to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Clear? Now if you are just to be, आप में से कोई एक आया and it is to be just removed his part from it. Like ये formulations आपके पास कैसे बन गई? It is to be the formulations. Clear? कि 3 नंबर ने अपना पार्ट यहाँ से क्या कर लिया? बाहर निकाल लिया. Then it is to be the measurement of that particular solid angle. तो जो remaining part होगा, it is to be defined in terms of the solid angle. Clear? It is to be the basic formulations in terms of the fundamental units, derived units. We are considering the few examples and the supplementary units. In next class we are discussed about the dimensional analysis. Before that particular formulations, we are discussed about the degree and the radian measurement and the conversion degree to radian or radian to degree. Clear? Hopefully all of you are getting each and every points. If there is any doubt, then you can write down your comment into the comment section. Otherwise you are also to be contact at my WhatsApp number 7737278066 for any queries. Okay. If you are just to be liking these videos, please like and share these videos. If you are new in our YouTube channel, then please subscribe our YouTube channel. Okay, see you into the next class.